But now it's time to talk Brain Fit and Brain Fuel. We've got Dr. Jenny Brockis back in the studio. Over to you, Jenny.
Thank you very much, Fred. Today I have a very special guest called Peter Simons. Now, Peter has written a book, a very good book, and I would like everybody to buy a copy and read it because I think it has a very, very important message to share. Peter, welcome, and thank you for coming along today to speak to me.
Yep, okay.
Tell me, why did you choose to write a book? What is it all about?
Well, I've had a few problems, and I had my third brain hemorrhage in 2001, and I'd recovered well from the other ones, but after this particular brain hemorrhage, I didn't recover well at all. I had 6 horrendous months of getting worse and worse, and the last 2 months I was suicidal, and eventually I was diagnosed with depression. I said, there's only one thing about this. I have never felt sad. I've had some terrible symptoms. And once I found I had depression, I said, well, it doesn't make sense as a condition. I thought, well, something's got to be done about it. And I met Clyde Jameau, and together he had a model, and we put it together and wrote a book on it.
Very good. Now, depression is quite common in today's society. They say that 1 in 5 Australians, in fact, will be likely to experience a mental disorder or illness of some sort, and depression is rapidly increasing. Yeah. There's a lot of information available to people, but your book talks about brain depletion. What is different about your book and the brain depletion model, as you call it?
Well, depression is just one symptom. There's a range of symptoms. It's one symptom, and some people get it, some people don't. So I said, what is actually the fundamental problem here? And what it is, the underlying problem is that your neurotransmitters that send the messages from one brain cell to the next, they deplete. We call them brain fuels. They deplete for various reasons, and stress there's various stresses that'll do that. Once they deplete, that's brain fuel depletion, then adrenaline kicks in and they explain all the symptoms. The depletion of neurotransmitters explains some of the psychological symptoms and also some of the symptoms that affect the gut. And the adrenaline explains the insomnia, the anxiety, and the fight or flight, the angry and frustration, or the remoteness and the withdrawal. So those 2 pillars explain all the symptoms, a much better fundamental model for this condition.
I think that's the beauty of this book. It's written in a very personal way because it reflects your story, but it also has some great little diagrams to explain what you're talking about in relation to the brain depletion model. But if people are experiencing some symptoms and they're not sure whether they have depression itself or if they think they may have some symptoms from brain depletion, what can they be doing about it? What should they be looking for?
Well, I think if you're not sure, look at our model. There's various things, there's Beyond Blue and everything else, but we've got another option of looking at it. If it makes sense, then you can come to a conclusion, talk to your doctor and say, yeah, I have got these symptoms. And then we say, with basically the book, if we can make the problem simple, the solutions become obvious. How are you depleting your neurotransmitters? Are you a doer, a carer, a perfectionist? Are you being bullied? Have you got inferiority complex? But once we work out why they're depleting, medication can help you feel better, but then you need to find out the underlying cause. How did you get in that particular position? So it's going to involve lifestyle changes or analysis of you and managing your brain fuels. So we think it's a pretty simple model and a pretty simple explanation, and then it's up to you to work out where the issues are in your life.
Very good. And you go to explain in some detail about how relevant medication can be used to help people overcome the symptoms, but you also stress the different way that our lifestyle today can make such an impact. And so do you think there's more that people can find within the book itself to help them to analyse what could be influencing the way they live themselves?
Yeah. The role of medication is to actually give you a bit of a lift, so lift yourself up. But we say don't take medication to sustain the same stupid lifestyle you've had. Feel better, look at all the issues in your life, and sometimes you might need a psychiatrist if they're deep-seated issues, but just work at how you got in that position. We don't want you to stay there. We want you to get out of that particular position. The medication makes you feel good, but it's not there as a prop so that you can continue to do the same silly things. You've got to get in it and make some underlying changes to your life. I'm a doer. I said I've got to stop doing everything. I've got to stop doing 8 things. I just do 3. I live up to my personality, but I just do 3, and I refuse to do the others because I don't want to suffer anymore. I never want to go back there, and I think I'm still reasonably effective. You might be a perfectionist. There's a lot of other things that come into it, but you've got to work out your issues.
Very good. So, Peter, if people want to find out a bit more about the book and yourself, where should they be going?
We've got a website, brainfueldepletion.org, and we have the first 3 chapters of the book is free. You get the model if you want it. You can get the hard copy. We've got a DVD. It's up on Amazon as well. So it's there. It's $10. It doesn't take much and could make a big difference to your life.
Thank you so much for coming along today to speak to us, Peter. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And of course, if you want to find out more, you can always go to thecouch.com.au. Back to you now, Fred.